Today we have Megan Tomchak. I hope I pronounced your last name correct. She's the Vice President and Chief Development Officer at Vision Corps. She oversees the fundraising and development for the agency and leads marketing and community relations for the Rehabilitation Services Department. And a little bit about their mission is to empower people who are blind or vision impaired to attain independence. So with that, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you for having me tonight. We've been very privileged to be able to speak to a lot of groups this way. And you know, it's a new way of doing things, obviously, but I hope that you guys find this informational, maybe learn some new things. Normally I'd ask for a show of hands how many people have heard of Vision Corps, but I can't see all of you right now. So if you haven't, we are located in downtown Lancaster. We serve several counties though, and I will go through all of that. So our mission, as Alyssa stated, is empowering individuals with vision loss to attain independence, and we serve people in Adams County, Chester County, Lancaster County, Lebanon County, and York County. That's grown and shrunk. We've had a couple other counties that we don't anymore, and then we've added some. We're almost 100 years old, so that footprint continues to change, but right now we are in those 5 counties. Our services are provided at no cost to people aged birth to, I think our oldest client was 105, so all ages. And our vision at Vision Corps is that we see a world where vision loss is not a barrier to economic and personal independence. And everything we do is reflected in that vision, everything we do at Vision Corps. I'm going to skip through some of these so we have time for questions. As I said, though, we are almost 100 years old. And beyond the services that we provide to people who are blind, rehabilitation services, we also provide opportunities for employment. Our main goal is to help individuals who are blind stay in their home and remain independent, wherever that may be. If they're in an assisted living facility, we want to help them stay at their current level and not have to move to personal care or something like that. If they're not in assisted living or a retirement community, we try to help them stay in their own personal homes as long as they can. And to do that, we have several types of services. We offer case management, which is kind of the first step for any client to meet with a case manager or social worker to go over their goals and where they want to be in a month, in a year, in 5 years. And then our social workers will connect them to internal resources or external resources that could help in other ways to help them reach their goal. We also have orientation and mobility instruction, which is the science of safe travel. Most familiar to people is the white cane or dog guides. We do not do dog guide training at Vision Corps, but anybody who wants to attend a dog guide school to get a dog guide has to be proficient in white cane travel. So we get them prepared to go to dog guide school. They go to the school, and when they come back, we provide ongoing support and work closely with a lot of the dog guide schools with clients, with mutual clients to help them as they adjust. And then we also have occupational therapists on staff who help with low vision, basically daily living skills with low vision. So that can be cooking, cleaning, knowing how to match your clothes if you don't have enough vision to tell colors, helping with medication, that sort of thing. And by helping, I don't mean hand holding, it's us providing them the tools and training that they need to do these things themselves, to be able to read a medication bottle with the proper tools or devices, recipes, that sort of thing. We also just hired an access technology specialist because technology has been growing for people who are blind and continues to. And now, especially with the pandemic and all the use of technology like we're using tonight, it's critical that we provide training for our clients to be able to participate in Zoom meetings, but also just general ways that technology helps people who are blind in day-to-day living. If you or somebody you know could benefit from our services, the way that you qualify, you have to be have a visual acuity of 20/70 or worse. 20 over 70 is low vision, 20 over 200 is blind, and certain fields of vision, limited fields of vision, would also qualify somebody for services. And we really just need we have release forms that you could sign that we get, are able to get a report from your eye doctor, or your eye doctor can refer you to us with the report showing that you are eligible for services. And, oh, that didn't work. This is not sure what's wrong with this slide. The majority of our clients are that big blue part of the pie chart, which is Lancaster County. And then York County is about, that would be the gray chunk. And then the orange chunk would be Lebanon County, and then the two smaller pieces of the pie would be Adams and Chester County. But we have over 2,000 clients in our database of all ages. The majority of our clients are over the age of 65, and a lot of that is because of age-related vision loss, like macular degeneration, as well as the aging baby boomer population, which is a larger population, so the incident rate is higher for these age-related conditions. And then the other leading cause of blindness is diabetic retinopathy, which is because of the diabetes epidemic. So that one continues to grow. About half of the clients that we see have macular degeneration, and the others have either glaucoma, the diabetic retinopathy I just talked about, retinitis pigmentosa, which is tunnel vision. Usually, though, it's a combination of these things. So all of these are considered legal blindness. You do not have to be totally blind to get services. In fact, less than 10% of people who are legally blind are totally blind. So we have people that say, well, I'm not blind, but I can't read the newspaper, even with their strongest glasses. So that would be considered most likely legal blindness, or at least low vision, and we can help with that. We also provide services to children, including the expanded core curriculum, which is an extension of the curriculum that they receive in schools. This goes beyond to teach like cooking, more skills geared towards independence and not just the educational aspect of things and academic. And then we also have these other recreational activities. On this slide, we have kids kayaking with a guide. We have a little boy who is in Lidditz, who is learning the white cane and is starting in school for the first time this year. And activities, this was actually in Elizabethtown. There's a girl at the hula hoop at the, oh my gosh, Ironstone Ranch, I believe. It was at the Able Farm. So that was up there around you guys. The next slide, I went over these items, things that we do with our kids. Everything that we do, though, is to encourage them to strive for independence and do things on their own. And the incident rate of children who are blind is very, very low, that people are born with vision loss. And so they may be the only child in their school. Definitely, I can't say definitely, but almost definitely the only child in their classroom, but then also probably their school. So we have kids from all over who come together, and these activities really turn into almost like a support group for them, and they make lifelong friendships and have somebody that can really understand what they're going through. And then we have our employment program. The photos on here, there's a gentleman who on the left who is working on our pad line to get helmet pads that we make for the military out of a die cutter. And then the center picture is of our sewing operation. And all the way to the right, we have a woman who is packaging these helmet pads. So things that we do, as I mentioned, helmet pads for the military, we make 75% of all the helmet pads worn by the entire U.S. military. They come out of our downtown Lancaster facility. They come to us partially made, but we finish them, package, and distribute them. We also do cleaning products. We're in over 90% of the federal prisons. And I think we're not in Puerto Rico, and I think there's like one other location, but we're in almost every federal prison, and we get cleaning products in these really big bins. They're the size of a pallet, and then we put them into smaller bottles, label, package, and deliver them. We also do food processing in our Lebanon facility. We package rice for the US military, and that rice is shipped all over the globe. And then one that you guys are probably the most familiar with are delineator posts on the side of the highway. So any reflective post that you see on the side of any state road, like the turnpike, comes out of our Philadelphia facility. So all the snow is great for us because the snow plows tend to take them out, and we get a lot of orders. So this winter hopefully will result in some big orders for us. But that's probably the thing most people are familiar with that they would see is these delineator posts, and we make them for the state of Pennsylvania. We also most recently started sewing masks and PPE. We got a contract with the state, and we're providing them for Lancaster County government. They put in a large order for us, so we're sewing masks as well. All of these are possible through something called the Ability One Act, which is a federal act that if our labor, if at least 75% of it is done by people who are blind, they have to do business with us. Now, we of course have to meet certain standards, quality standards, on-time delivery, that sort of thing. But that's how we have the helmet pads, the cleaning products, all of these are through that. And the state has a similar program called the State Use Act, which is how we got the delineator post contract. We are in several counties in South Central and Southeast Pennsylvania. Some we just have services, some we also have employment, and some we just have one or the other. The Philadelphia facility, for example, that is just employment. We don't provide services. There is another agency down there that provides services. But prior to us opening our Philly facility, it was the largest metropolitan east of the Mississippi with no program to employ people who are blind. And nationwide, there is a 70% unemployment rate. So we're very proud of that facility and the opportunity we're giving Philadelphians who are blind. Quickly, during the pandemic, we skipped a beat for about a month, getting our acts together and figuring out how we could still provide services during this global crisis. And what we did was we went virtual like everyone else, but it is more challenging when you're working with people who are blind who may not have that training in technology. So we utilize Microsoft Teams, which is just like Zoom, but it gives people the opportunity to call in as well as the video chat. And so our support groups went virtual, and we added several support groups. In the past, we would have, say, 6 support groups in Lancaster, all with the same subject, and maybe 2 in York to fit all these different locations where people are throughout the county. But by going virtual, we can have just one for the whole county. So it freed up time of our staff and gave them the opportunity to open up some new groups. So they have a book reading group that meets monthly or weekly. They'll read a chapter, talk about it. They have groups for specific members or specific clients like dog guide users, white cane users. They're just starting a young women's club. So we've really expanded those, and it's really been a good experience for our clients that are taking part in that. Almost all of our manufacturing continued because it was considered essential by the government. And for our youth activities, we couldn't have them gather to do things together that they would normally do. But what we did was we took activity supplies, dropped them off at their home with instructions, and offered video or telephone support to them, and then asked them to send in photos or video of what they were doing to share with everybody else. So we kept moving. And all of this is made possible through support from the community. Our services cost about $1.5 million a year for us to provide them. And again, they are provided at no cost to the community. Costs that could be incurred by our clients would be purchasing certain devices and that sort of thing, but our expertise is at no cost to our clients. And so support from the community comes by way of donations. But we also have a great fundraising event that I wanted to point out for your club. It's called the Eye Drop. It is a rappelling event. The Penn Square Rotary participated in it in 2019, which was our first event. We raised almost $200,000. And this event, as I said, it's a rappelling event, and it's a peer-to-peer type of fundraiser, which means every rappeller or participant gets their own website to raise money. Once that participant raises $1,000, they're given the opportunity to go over the edge of the Holiday Inn in downtown Lancaster, which is a 10-story building. It's 120 feet, and you rappel over the edge. We did this on the Day of the Extraordinary Give in 2019. It was an awesome day. We had it scheduled for this past November, but of course had to postpone it for Friday, July 9th. So if a Rotary Club would want to get involved, you could choose someone to represent you to go over the edge. And, you get your own like I said, you get your own website, you can email it to people, put it on your Facebook page. And it was a really fun event, and people got pretty competitive, and it just blew us away, the support that we got. So we'd love to see the E-Town Rotary Club represented there. And that website is iDrop, EYE, drop 2021.org. And we can send it to you after. Beyond our fundraising events, other ways you can support us are just by spreading the word. If you are a member of any other groups, or if you belong to a church that has groups that could use a speaker, we'd love to talk to them, tell them how we can help. And actually, we are working on a new website, and so we're looking for quotes from people who have received services. So if you've received services, if you know someone that's received services, or if you learned something at this presentation, we want to quote to promote our speaker circuit, we'd love to hear from you. And Alyssa has our contact info. But that's, in a nutshell, everything that we do. So I'd like to open up to questions or comments if anybody has any. 5 minutes. That's like a record for me. I got in under the under the wire.
This is great. I think Dennis had the same comment as me. Our next president isn't here July 9th, but I think, we might have a new job for her.
There you go.
Our club in the iDrop.
Yeah, they're actually one of the sponsorships that we work with a company called Over the Edge that does this, and we have 2 ropes going down at the same time. So there's constantly people going down, and we are going to live stream it this year for people to be able to watch if they can't get downtown. But one of the sponsorships that Over the Edge has promoted is called Toss the Boss, where, you voluntold the boss that they're going to do this. So yeah, we'd love to see you guys down there. It's really fun. I did it.
Well, thank you. We'll go ahead and open it up for questions. So if you have any questions for Megan, feel free to unmute, or you can post it in the chat as well. I'm happy to present it that way. So feel free to unmute.
How does your budget break down between your contract work and your contributions?
We just did our annual report. I mean, our contract work is far exceeds probably at least 10 times our contribution amount. However, all of our employees are paid competitive wage. We're not a sheltered workshop. And so all of our employees are getting the same benefits, competitive wages, etc. We actually are 2 separate 501c3s. So there's the Vision Corps Foundation, which is fundraising, and the agency, which is separate, which includes all the manufacturing contracts. So I'm most familiar with my budget. We raised almost $1 million last year for fundraising. I can tell you that our administrative costs are under 10%. Our fundraising costs are under 2%. And all of that information is available on charitynavigator.com, which is a great resource for people to learn more about that sort of thing with budgets and the breakdown and how we're spending our money. Our program expenses, I believe, are 87% we're spending towards programming. So I'd encourage you to check out Charity Navigator. I'm sorry I don't have that off the top of my head.
I want to I'm Dave. I want to congratulate you on staying so much up to date in the vocational services that you provide. I was the director of a vocational program that ran a sheltered workshop in the old days
Okay, nice.
in New York.
Okay,
And
yeah.
I know your program is highly recommended, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.